What's up, beauties? Welcome to Holy Hair. In this instructional video, I'm going to be doing a step-by-step tutorial on how to cut the perfect stacked bob. Now, this is something that they do not normally teach you in hair school, and it's something that is very useful in an everyday atmosphere at the salon because a lot of people have bobs, a lot of people have, angled cuts or stacked cuts up in the back. So in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down my technique, how I get weight out of the back of the hair, how I get it to lay really nicely without a ton of flat ironing or styling. And I'm just gonna show you guys all of the steps I take to get the perfect bob.
Oh, let's lead, let's hit, let's go. Holy hair, let's go, let's go, let's go.
So the first thing I'm going to do is section the front sections out of the way, just clip them up, and then I'm going to split the back into two sections right down the middle, and then I'm going to create this triangle-like section in the back bottom here. And then the first cut I'm going to make, I'm just going to cut the bottom length here. I'm just kind of establishing how much length we're taking off over her overall hair, and I'm just trimming that length on the bottom here. Then I'm going to take this middle bit section here, and I'm going to hold it out at about a 90-degree angle, and I am going to point cut this section here. And this is what's going to give you that stacked look. And I do this with a few of the pieces in the back, as you can see. I am very much a visual hair cutter, so I do a little bit of like visual hair cutting and technique type things. I kind of intertwine everything, which I think is a good way to cut hair. So I'm very visual, as you guys will be able to tell throughout this video. But yeah, I just like to lift up some pieces and point cut just to give it some extra texture and kind of create that stacked type look in the back. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm doing this at a 0 elevation. So when you're cutting up against their skin, that's completely 0 elevation. So I'm creating that kind of V in the back here to give that shape, that bob shape in the back on the bottom. Then I'm just going to take down another section. And as you can see, I'm just matching up the length here. And then what I'm going to do is with the comb, I'm just like pressing her hair right up to the back of her neck here so that I can get any hairs that might be hiding underneath. And that gives you that true clean cut on the bottom there. And I'm just going to match up the length on either side. And then again, I'm going to elevate some sections to 90 degree, and I'm going to point cut these pieces, and that is going to create her stacked look. Give you a nice layered, textured, stacked look. And you can kind of like, I like to fluff the hair to kind of see how it'll lay when it is dry, and then just visually see where the hair looks heavy and go ahead and point cut those areas. Taking down another section here, you can see where my guide is. I'm just going to be matching that up, cutting the length to match the guide. So again, I'm just elevating some sections to about 90 degrees and I am point cutting. So it's hard to explain point cutting, just in words. I'm such a visual learner, so I'm kind of a visual teacher as well. But if you guys will watch like my hand placement, how I'm holding the hair, how I'm holding the scissors in relation to cutting the hair, that'll be really helpful to learn how to point cut for your clients. And after I blow dry her, I'm going to be showing you guys how I use point cutting to take out a lot of weight to the hair, which is so important. Like, you can use that technique on anyone. It does not have to be a bob haircut in order to take out weight with point cutting, and all of my clients love it. Like, they seriously ask for it. They'll like do the motion. Can you do that thing where you like, do the scissors like this? And they just love how it lays. It just lays so much better. And yeah, so it just takes out some good weight. So stay tuned for that. And then what I'm doing here is the pull test. So I just grab a piece from either side and pull it down and see if it releases at the same time. This just helps to check the length to make sure that it is even. So I'm just going to head over and trim up the sides. She does not want her cut to be really angled, so I'm just going to match up the sides to the back length that we have. If she did want the front dropped out and she wanted it, like a very angled bob, I would over direct the front sections towards the back, and then, pull it down a little bit depending on how much longer they want the front. I always, like, rule of thumb, when you're doing an angled cut, like, less is more. You can always cut more off. So if somebody did want it dropped out longer in the front, you would just take off a little bit at a time, see how it's laying, and then you can always take more off. But you can't put it back on, so it's the worst if you take like too much off the sides and it's not right? Like, that's just the worst. So yeah, you just want to make sure that you're being conservative when you are taking off length. Anytime you do a haircut, you just don't want to be that stylist that takes too much off. So I'm just matching up the sides to the back here, and I'm leaving it a tad bit longer, as you'll be able to see, but not much at all. And then I'm just going to be doing some more point cutting. So just pay attention to the angles that I'm holding the hair at and how I am cutting and where my hand's placed and different things like that. So the way that I'm cutting, see how my right hand, the one that has the scissors, isn't like turned. It's like at a comfortable position so that I do not hurt my wrist. And over the years, that definitely makes a difference. So you want to make sure that your wrist is in the correct formation when you are point cutting. Like I said, I'm a very visual hair cutter, so I like to just kind of go around the hair. Like, I'm a little ADD when I'm cutting. Like, I'll go over here, I'll go over there, but eventually I do, complete every section and get it all even. So So I have her all dry, and she has really thick hair, you guys. So that's why I'm doing a ton of point cutting in her hair. Like, my client here has very, very thick hair and she has a lot of it. So I'm just going in, and you do not have to do all of this on every single client. Like, this is just tailored towards her hair. So I just want you guys to be aware of that. And I wanted to get the full haircut in this tutorial. So like literally I didn't leave anything out. This is the full haircut. So I am going through and I'm just visually seeing what needs to be, where the weight needs to be taken out, where a little bit of length maybe needs to be taken out. As you can see, that little duck tail right there, like just need to cut that off. So, and that is because of a cowlick. So it's really good to do dry cutting because I wouldn't have saw that if it was wet. So I'm just kind of like gonna visually, move her hair around, kind of comb it in different directions and see how it's laying, because you want the client to be able to just like wear her hair and not have to flat iron it and stuff. So as I combed it that way, you could see there's a heavy spot right there. So I'm just gonna point cut that. And I just like see where the heavy spots are visually, and I will go in and take the weight out and point cut. When you are point cutting, just something that is super important to point out, if you want to strictly only take weight out, you're going to go straight in with the scissors. If you want to do a little more of a layered look, you're going to go at a little bit of a diagonal, and it depends on how far you go in at an angle as to how much, obviously how much of a chunk you're going to take out. So you want to just be aware of the angle that you are cutting the hair when you are point cutting. And you can also like fan out the hair with your fingers before you cut it, and that also makes it a little softer, like it doesn't take as much weight out. So I'm just doing, again, a few finishing touches on her hair, just taking some weight out and making it lay really nicely for her. We had not done a cut on her in a long time, so her next cut will be super easy, but since her hair was so grown out, that's why I had to do like so much weight and all that stuff. So then I'm just going in and I'm doing a little bit of a side bang. So I'm just taking like her front pieces and pulling them up and trimming a little bit. So that's just going to give her a little bit of a bang, a little soft, couple pieces in the front. And yeah, so this is going to be her finished results. Some awesome tips from this video, and I just pray blessings over all of you beauties watching this channel. Don't forget to give it a like, hit that subscribe button, share this video with a friend if you think it will help them in their hair journey, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Go, let's hit, let's go.